back, everyone, to your favorite podcast, Three Slips and Silly Points. We've got Raj at second slip and Randeep, our trusted third slip fielder, firm at third slip.
And awake.
And awake.
And awake.
Nice and late, but we're still awake. I mean, to be honest, I'm actually very jelly that you get to introduce this episode, Chai, because it's a special boy, this one. It's a special episode.
Special roast.
There's so
Nice.
so much special about this whole episode.
Oh,
Yeah, let's jump straight into it,
yeah.
or let's kick off the roasting straight away. All right.
We talk about our neighbors. Which
Apart from
neighbor?
this, I'm
First.
lost of words as to looking at the results that's panned out, right? So quickly calling out the team that we're going to roast. It's the I don't know what team we're going to call. It's Pakistan, right? can't find any further
Outright,
interest.
it's Pakistan. Come on.
It's Pakistan, and so
Pakistan.
as we record this, the second test just concluded in favor of
Literally like minutes
Bangladesh.
ago.
In favor of Bangladesh. Right?
By 6 wickets.
Bangladesh won the series 2-0
Yeah.
in
Whitewash.
Pakistan. Let that sink in. And the game was rain curtailed as well. So
yeah. But zero impact. Zero impact for Pakistan or Bangladesh.
I guess Pakistan, similar to the first innings, they just rushed. They wanted to beat the rain and head home. So one best way is let's throw at the game. Like, let's wrap up.
But in this game, no one even fought. Not even in the first innings or the second innings. I actually can't believe, like, this is going to be the biggest confidence boost for Bangladesh. They went into enemy territory, they took them on, and they outright played them both games. And every single player stood up for Bangladesh. For both games.
And the confidence, right? Like, day 4, or whatever you want to call it, like not today, but yesterday, if you watch the highlights, when Bangladesh came in, I think they were very positive intent, right? Hitting left, right, and center, and they played very well. And like the confidence was there. Compared to Pakistan, like before they got all out, Rizwan got out to a ball where he reached, like, he was, I don't know what he was doing, but he reached so much just to get out. Unnecessary, right? So that was the maturity. He should have it by now, but the discipline to leave that ball alone. That was very far.
Yeah.
That was very far. Azam, the MVP, Babar Azam, did not move a centimeter when he got out for that.
So, I read a little fact about this Babar Azam innings, I guess. So prior to this match, he had equaled ViratKohli's a number of innings and going without a century or a half century, which is 14. And now he's at 15 with 2 failed innings.
I'm going to take everyone back to Bangladesh's first innings collapse. Right? We had talked about second innings and free flow of runs, but my biggest concern or my biggest discussion point is how come a team that is at 26 for 6 managed to win the test match, right?
So comprehensively.
Exactly. Bangladesh, 26 for 6 to 260 odd. So they've scored 10 times the runs. And this was done by just their last 3 or 4 players.
Yeah. My boy Litton Das.
Litton, yeah.
The bowling attack was so amazing to watch. That initial spell from Pakistan.
Yeah.
It had the glimpses of good old pace swing bowls.
Yeah.
How can you lose a game
like
from that?
Shaheen Shafridi was almost like damn, maybe they are better off without me. And then the match ended, and he's like, ah, shit, they needed me. God damn, I should have been there.
Or the other way, make Halo ya like Halo, it really doesn't matter. We still end up losing.
Oh,
It's
Man,
it's their bowling. It's Bangladesh's bowling, right? Hassan and Nahid. Their bowling was amazing.
yeah. And that Hassan guy's
They pretty
fairly
much
new
constricted
too.
them quite a bit.
The Hassan guy's fairly new too. It's not like he's a seasoned campaigner. Like Tuscan's very old. Like he's been around the
Oh,
block.
he's
Like
new.
like
Yeah, yeah,
Hassan's like
yeah.
I hadn't even heard of him before the series, and this man's like bagging fifers on a
He
flat
killed it.
pitch.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? Flat pitch and the wickets that I saw for Rizwan and all these guys, a couple of them just reaching. I
Oh
get,
yeah, like
you're trying to hit a
more than
shot and stuff,
Rizwan. I
but
think
just
Rizwan
yeah.
got like I think he was surprised of the bounce. But Saim Ayub, after
Mm.
scoring his like 50 in the
No, no,
first innings, he ran down the pitch and missed the ball completely. Like he was halfway down the pitch and he missed the ball completely. And this guy was like fully set. Like he was the one guy who was like, my eyes in, I can sit on the pitch for ages, and just
yeah.
gave it. Oh, so annoying.
Yeah, this was Pakistan imploding. I
Oh,
mean, as
guaranteed. I
much
mean, like you said,
as Bangladesh had their heads, after that initial
Yeah.
stuff up of losing six quick wickets.
but that stuff up was massive. 6 of 26.
Exactly, man.
That's a huge turnaround,
Yeah.
right? Stuff up, which was like, oh my God, and then turned it around. So they went from, oh my God, this is a very bad start. I don't know how we're going to do this. Could we win this test to we could do
Yeah.
I
this,
Wait,
think,
right?
they
From
were only in a
Litton,
12-run
pretty much.
deficit by
Yeah,
the end of first innings.
yeah.
correct. That's right.
At 26 for 6, I'm sure everyone that's supporting Bangladesh who are praying for the rain to pour down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two, when they had to chase 180, everyone were praying for the rain not to interrupt the party.
Yeah.
Now, what a turn of events.
I
And
think
even
Litton made it look easy too. It wasn't even like he was struggling or like he was trying to farm the strike or
Mm,
anything, right? He trusted Mehdi Hassan to like get the runs with him, and he was rotating the strike real nicely. Did nothing special, just went along, just backed him.
exactly, I think the initial six players that got out went out in a rush.
Yeah.
And it was the same bowling team. It was the same wicket. And Liton Das and Mehdi Hassan essentially showed us a batting masterclass on how to reconstruct an innings, pull
On
the
a flat
game
pitch.
away on a flat pitch, taken flat pitch, but from
Yeah.
that situation of 26 for 6 to
I
getting
guess
close to 12 runs
to
deficit.
be honest, I think even if it's a flat pitch at 26 for 6, anything would look crazy. Any ball would be like, shit, this is gonna get me out.
yeah.
And
Oh my god.
moving to the second innings, Pakistan's second innings, as again, it's a flat wicket, overcast conditions. So there
Yeah.
is a bit of nip in the
Yeah.
air. The ball was seaming around, bouncing, uneven surface. But how good was Bangladesh bowling in that second innings? Especially, now that they knew they had, equalized the first innings total. It was all in for going at, right?
Yeah.
Great bowling. And again, a nervous start. They lost two wickets before the end of day's play, and that set the tone up.
But I still think it was more around like the Pakistani batting lineup not applying themselves. Because like regardless of how they were bowling, it was definitely
Mm,
not a 172 all out kind of pitch. Like
Nah, definitely not.
nah, nah.
feel like Shan Masood
It's the same
might be
thing in the first
replaced
test,
in the
right?
next series.
The next series is a big one, right? It's
England's coming
against
home, right?
England. Yeah, uh,
Yeah.
it's about a
Yeah.
month away. So Mr. Jason Gillespie has got about a
You know,
What
month
are they
of.
for a month?
you know what this means, right? Joe Root's just gonna show up. He's gonna bag 5 centuries straight, and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this is so easy. Why can't I just get more centuries? It's easy. Why can't anyone else do it? It's so easy." Ah,
Uh,
I'm thinking that I'm thinking, what does Pakistan do now? Do they find a new training camp, a new mountain to do their training on for to beat England?
I guess what Pakistan is doing is basically scrapping their entire red ball format and saying, we'll just play T20s.
Oh. Then
Oh God, I think they need a good hard look. They look at
wait,
Bangladesh, right? If they want to take notes, take notes from
honestly,
Bangladesh,
wait, they looked
right?
so
Like,
confident. Like after, even
yeah, they
after
did.
26 for 6 recovering like this, and then coming
Correct.
out to bat in the fourth innings. Fourth innings is not an easy place to like just chase something.
Anywhere.
It
Yeah,
usually gets like tricky. You'd lose wickets, and it gets down to the wire.
correct. Yeah,
They looked so confident. They were, like the start they had at the end of
yeah.
yesterday, a quick 40 yard coming in this
Yes.
morning. Oh,
Yeah.
they looked so good.
Yeah,
Like they made
I'll,
it look so easy.
yeah. This morning, I love their approach to the game. So at the moment they lost one or two quick wickets. They're,
Yeah.
we're just gonna take it easy. We're gonna punish the bad ball. We're gonna keep rotating the strike
Yeah,
and play a classic test innings. And the moment they got into that mindset, it was game set and done. It was just when was Bangladesh gonna win the game rather than if Bangladesh gonna win the game.
yeah. And you can see, right? Like if you look at the runs they scored, the rate at which they went at, 47, 46, 47,
Mm.
like they all went at like I tell that Zaki Hassan guy, everyone went at that 40, 40 something like strike rate. And then when you look up on Pakistan, right? They're either in like the extreme lows where they're just like struggling to get off the mark, like
Yeah.
30 or 20, or
Yeah.
the extreme highs of like 80s and like 60s. So like there's no one like taking their time and like, actually like
Mm.
settling down on the pitch to see if they can like survive and get runs.
I think like Randeep was saying, go back to the grassroots,
Yeah.
have a good rethink
Flick.
of how to approach a test
Good.
on, especially on home soil, right? Any team is going to be very confident on how they're going to play on their home soil. Pakistan, knowing that they have flat wickets, they got to really relook at the approach.
But to be honest, I think it's a bit unfair because it's a home game for both teams, no? 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 Hmm?
Hey, it's current home versus ex home. I'll pass.
Home's home, right? It's all good.
Oh no.
It's all good.
Uh, but yeah,
Uh,
so
Yeah, I'll be curious what they do and what,
to be honest,
yeah,
just
the
get
Gillespies
rid
and
of PSL.
or just
Just get
forget
rid
it.
of PSL and start a test match league and get the
Oh,
players
please.
good.
Yeah.
you know,
Because to be honest, I actually had really high hopes off of Saud's Shakil and Saim Ayub both because they
Mm.
were the fresh like people who'd come
hmm,
in, and Saud Shakil had done quite
Mm.
well in the last series, and he's someone who like he's like halfway house between a Pujara where he takes his time, plays a bit slow, but he'll bat deep. But he didn't show that like this
Mm.
game. He showed glimpses of it in the last game, but yeah.
yeah, at the start of this few episodes ago, where we reviewed Pakistan's schedule leading into Champions Trophy, and we did make a bold prediction that Pakistan has got enough games to reach the WTC or be a close competitor to WTC final slots. But
Oh,
after this,
Oh, no.
they have
No.
tumbled down the list. If
wait.
you guys are,
Forget
What are they
them.
now?
Look how much
Wales.
Bangladesh has climbed.
yeah, yeah, Bangladesh is 4, Pakistan is 8.
So before the series,
Oh my
Pakistan
God.
was 7 and Bangladesh was 8.
Ooh, that's a huge jump
Yeah,
of Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Oh my
you
God.
know, this is the
It's kind
best
of
part. Bangladesh are ahead of England and
yeah,
And England just
big
had
wins,
like
right?
wins,
yeah,
So
yeah.
India,
big wins.
Australia, and New Zealand are ahead of Bangladesh. So that is how top
Yeah.
they've climbed up the ladder.
But in saying that, like England has played 15 games versus Bangladesh's 6. But I know for WTC it doesn't matter how many games you play. It's just
Exactly.
the
The win
percentage.
percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Uh,
Oh,
Well, the next stop for Bangladesh team is India. So they're going to come and play two tests in India. Um,
To
before
be
before
honest,
we
I think
When does
these
that
could be
start?
tricky games for India.
When's that?
To be honest, very
Yeah,
soon. I think end of
I
September
think.
or early October.
Yeah, it's not that far. I
Yeah.
remember. I think
yeah,
it was on the
I think
thing.
I think it actually
I'm
19th
I
of
think
agree.
it
September,
actually
in
the camp
a
When's that?
fortnight.
starts during
Also 2 weeks. So
yeah.
2 weeks. I agree with Raj. I think this because you've got a Bangladesh, you've got a very steady um, Bangladesh team, and you've got a non-steady Indian team. When I say non-steady, this is new
Ooh,
coach. You've got some new players. When I say non-steady, it's not fully integrated on how the players work at the position, right? This is still Gigi trying, hey, we played against Sri Lanka one day. We did some experimenting, did not work out. This is test. What do we need to do? So this is first test for Gigi now. So he's still gonna be I don't like he may just take Dravid's thing, be like, hey, I had this person here, but he's not. He's gonna do his own
I'm
thing.
gonna
The
make
So
the
I'm
tricky
gonna
it's gonna
make
be a bit
a
challenging.
real cheeky comment here. So, Randeep, did you just compare Team India with Team Pakistan?
ooh shit.
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. We're not gonna have a lead of 12 and then lose all your wickets straight away. So
Well, to be honest, I don't think India would let go of a team from 26 off of 6
Yeah.
to a deficit of 12
yeah,
runs.
correct. Yeah,
But that's us hoping for that.
yeah,
We
Okay.
don't
correct.
know for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
we we
As
we're
spoke in
guessing,
a
but
similar
yeah,
way before at the Sri Lanka ODI series.
yeah.
yeah. So that's my concern, Chai. That like at the moment we team is newish. Like you'll have a couple of new players. Um, is Boomerang's
He
back for
should
this one? No.
We
should
don't
be.
know yet, but he should be back. But they might actually rest him. I don't know. They haven't announced the
Yeah,
team yet, so we have no
because
clue.
you've only got two tests.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah, but
so I don't know. This is two tests,
so when it's two tests,
but it has
a
an
higher
impact to the
a
WTC.
higher
Yeah.
impact because
So Boomerang has to come. Boomerang has to
yeah.
I
come. There's no
think
other
if
option.
to be comfortable, India has to
Yeah.
win the home series. We are
Yeah.
playing two tests against Bangladesh, and then if I'm not wrong, we're playing against New Zealand. Yeah, we're playing against New
Oh.
Zealand
In
Oh,
India.
correct. So
Yeah.
if we want to neutralize the Aussie tour and confirm our position, we got to win both these series, and yeah,
Wow.
straight matches is going to
Yeah.
confirm the spot for India in the finals.
Oh,
If not,
really?
yeah, yeah,
So as long
Bangladesh,
as they win, as long
yeah,
as they win these 4 games, they're in the finals.
correct.
Wow. And even if they lose
no
all
pressure.
5 games against Australia.
That's what I understand. So yeah,
Oh
if we
wow.
want to
Okay, that's
neutralize the
interesting.
Aussie tour completely, India has to
Yeah.
win the four
All
home
four.
tests.
Oh, yeah. Can't even be a draw. Like has to be
Yeah,
a
but
win.
but don't come down and lose here because it'll hurt us.
Yeah.
Just don't. Just
To be
you know,
honest, I think
how much that hurt
I
us.
reckon high possibility of that happening because the team's very inexperienced. Like half the team hasn't even played in Australia. Like
Oh,
I'm
right.
very sure Sarfaraz Khan is gonna get bounced out every single game.
Well,
He got
the
bounced out in India, so imagine in Australia, like the Perth pitch.
the last
Yeah.
series that India played, we had a pretty inexperienced squad. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
you
That
can't
wasn't that wasn't the last one. That was a series
the
before
one
last.
sorry the one before, correct?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
it was the
Yeah,
first one we
yeah.
won. Yeah,
It
first
was
one we won.
essentially India B squad that played against
The thing
Australia.
is, in that India B squad, there's one player that played every single game, and that's not gonna be playing. It's an endorsement of Pudgy. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Okay. I feel like even in that game where Pujar didn't get a lot of runs, but because he survived for so long, the bowlers were actually
Correct.
fatigued out because of that. Like he'd
Yeah,
scored 20 runs, but 20 off of like 155 balls.
400
Yeah, literally
balls.
400 balls. like like Pat Cummins had his lower
Oh my
back in
God.
his hand. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, by the end of it. So
Yeah.
there's we don't and
And
we
that's what
don't
it
have
is, right?
anyone who just like sits.
We don't. Correct. And that's what it is, right? Either you lose wickets or you smash runs. But Pujara was the one guy to just annoy them. If we're not look, the best thing we can do is obviously not
Yeah,
lose
yeah,
wickets, right? If we're not creating runs, don't lose wickets, and just tire them out, and which
yeah.
we did.
Well,
Pujara, and I'm still pissed off that Pujara is still not gonna part of the
well,
squad.
we don't know
Again,
that.
not
We don't know
announced
that. We
yet.
don't
We
know
don't
that.
Again,
know.
Yeah.
yeah, I want to make that clear. It's
Well,
not. There's no
if
announcement of the squad, but
Ajit Agarwal
yeah,
is listening to us, please Ajit, bye. Just get him in.
please,
Bring him
yeah.
in. Bring him in.
Make it three in
Yeah.
a row. So you got to make it three in a row. So you gotta really have your A
Um,
game. But going back to Bangladesh, it's not just two tests. You've also got three twenties, three
oh,
T20s
Bosh,
Yeah, I
Bosh,
think
Bosh,
in
Bosh.
that
T
Do
team.
you know
Twenty.
what? Do you know what? Let's do this fixing right here. Hey Bangladesh, we will give you all three
Uh,
T20s as long as you lose to us in the test matches. We're okay with it. It's all good. We've got the T20 World Cup. It's enough for us. Um,
yeah. When you make this declaration, please give a press conference and explanation so Indian fans can understand why we lost.
Well,
All right.
the thing is,
Just
Oh my
Bangladesh would
God.
actually be a massive threat for India because their spin attack is actually pretty decent, and a lot of our players actually have been like all of our A players have been struggling against spin recently, like
uh,
especially Kohli.
Sri Lanka was a perfect
as
example.
recent
Kohli.
as the Sri Lanka ODI series,
Sri Lanka series.
where we
Yeah.
struggled to even a single match.
And usually that's what our pitches do. Like we don't do flat pitches. We do rank turners from day one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Bangladesh it might just
Yeah.
be trickier for India than actually Bangladesh. But hey, sorry, one question.
Yeah.
England, Pakistan, how many games do they have? Three or four?
If I'm not wrong, we'll probably get the stats guy to have a quick look.
Yeah, all right. Because
So that's got
what
to
if
have a look.
England win all three? What does that put them in the pecking order?
Two tests, three tests, three tests.
What does the stats guy say about
Stats guy changed. Oh my God, who's this new stats guy? Stats guy changed. Oh my God.
Because
So
See, I
that's three
think
would
tests.
England have any
England,
chance?
Oh no, no, wait, hold on,
with
hold on.
England,
Sorry,
right?
that's wrong.
Because they've played so many tests. You know,
It's almost
the
gone like against them.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
three.
And if you see, ever since this WTC kicked off, teams want to play minimum games to have that maximum win percentage. Um,
Yeah,
England, on the contrary, picks up the other side. All right, let's play 3 games, let's play 4 games, let's play five as well.
Yeah,
And it's, if you see again, to minimize this edge, we're playing against a tough nation. Competitive games, they end up playing 5 tests, so the average
yeah.
is lower. But with the smaller
They divvy
teams,
up the
and when
yeah,
it goes pear shaped, like how Bangladesh have pulled this one, it
yeah,
helps in their favor, and they've climbed up to number
yeah,
4.
yeah. But to be honest, I
Uh,
feel like it's more than the tougher nations. It's more around where the viewership is at. Because I think India South Africa
yeah,
is not an easy like series, right? But they still don't play enough games. They only do 2 or 3 games with each other,
hmm.
and they usually divvy up. So either New Zealand gets 3 games, or South Africa gets 3 games. So this time they gave South Africa 3 games, and they only gave 2 games to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Um, and
mm.
just because they make less money, right? Because less people
Well,
watch.
Hey, sorry,
now
but
a good friend is
New
at
Zealand's gonna play 3 tests,
the,
right?
Yeah. So if New Zealand got 3, that means South Africa got
against
2.
India.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, very quickly,
Mm.
again, going back to the original agenda of Pakistan, apart from Rizwan, none of the players from Pakistan jumped in or pitched in with the bat.
Yeah. Like no initiative, no
Yeah, no,
application.
that's what I'm saying.
Nothing,
It's so
absolutely.
frustrating.
This is gonna be controversial. I'm gonna
Go
say
on, go
something.
on,
This is gonna be controversial, and people are
go
gonna
on.
be.
Let the people judge if it's controversial, sir.
I'd, I'd actually rate Rizwan higher than
Oh, to be
Azhar.
honest,
Ah,
with the recent form,
that's
guaranteed. Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
controversial, sir.
there's no
That's
controversy
just
in
a
that.
while
yeah,
watching him, right? While watching him, he had a very
yeah,
positive intent. He was connecting bat on ball. He had a very positive intent, and he was, and he was actually ticking the runs along. Babar Azam, like again, I go back to how he got out, but he wasn't moving a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's also in immense pressure because he knows that he's meant to be like their top dollar bat, and he hasn't come through with the runs recently, at least. So I reckon like it's a lot more mental than
Oh yeah, no,
it
no doubt.
is.
I
But
agree. I agree. Because every news article is like Azam this, Babar Azam this, and Babar Azam that. I'm like, bhai, let him score some runs first, and then
Yeah, I
say
think
these things.
what? So
And then you're comparing the likes of the gods of the
in
cricket.
the current like top dollar big boys,
Yeah.
he is the player who's taken the most amount of innings in between scoring half centuries now. And well, we're still counting innings, right? Because he hasn't scored a 50 plus score in the last 15 innings. And the previous highest,
How many innings?
15.15. And
you know,
previous highest was Virat Kohli, which was 14.
with Babar Azam, how I'm sure everywhere on social
Yeah.
media and all the digital platforms, there's a Fab Four that goes off. This goes, right from Sachin, Ricky Ponting, comparisons. These days, Fab Four doesn't even feature Mr. Babar Azam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a made up thing
Yeah.
within social.
Sorry, sorry. Who's making this list? Is it international list
No,
or
no,
is it just Pakistan's
international.
list? Which one?
Or if it's Pakistan's list, then it'll be Babur.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Babar.
Pakistan Fab Four is Babar phase one, Babar
Yeah.
first innings, Babar second innings.
And then Rizwan.
But yeah, Rizwan, his form has been pretty good across all three formats.
Is pretty
Right?
good. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's always overshadowed by the fame and the attention that people give to Azam, Babar Azam.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, rightly so, Rizwan is rated higher compared to Babar Azam in the current form. And
yeah,
not only at this moment, but probably if you look at last year and a half or 2 years worth of cricket,
yeah.
Rizwan stands out, right? Rizwan's been
And same thing for the World Cup, right? Same thing for the World Cup. Rizwan overall, again, I don't know the full stats,
No,
so
he did
tell me if
contribute
I'm
more.
wrong. He did. He contributed more than
Yeah, yeah.
Azam,
yes,
from memory. Yeah, right. Like which is saying something. And if you look at any of the previous series, again, I don't have the stats in front of me. He would have contributed more.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think that's in the last couple years. Like prior to that,
Yeah, yeah, correct.
when
Last, yeah,
when they
correct. Yeah.
predominantly played against Zimbabwe, Baba was all over the place. But Baba's stats were like top notch.
Yeah.
You just need to get
okay.
him to the to those African countries more.
Stats guy has just come back about the stats in the T20 World Cup.
Oh, original stats guy came back. Original stats guy, new guy got
Babar
fired, but the
Azam,
original one came
Babar
back.
Azam
Yeah.
scored 122 runs in 4 games. Rizwan scored 110 in 4 games. So technically,
Oh,
Azam outperformed
Oh,
Rizwan.
oh.
But yeah,
All right, fine. Stats guy disproved
but
my
but it
comment. Got it.
depends, right? So the question is, what games did Babar Azam score his runs in? And if you see, I'm pretty sure Babar Azam scored a 50 something score in the first game that Pakistan played, which was against like a like a minnow team. Yeah,
Low rank.
yeah. Um, and then we all know what happened against USA, so let's not talk about them.
Yeah, stats guy's got
yeah,
an answer for that. Stats guy's got
I'm
an
not gonna
answer for
talk
this.
about numbers, but there is a reason why Babar Azam is called Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. He loves scoring against Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe.
Yeah. Hey,
Babat, I know you are watching
was
this
his half
episode and
century
all
against
our previous
Zimbabwe
episode.
in the World Cup?
We probably have to get the
Was it?
stats guy to look at it. But
As I'm saying, Babat, I know you watch our episodes and all our shows. All we're saying is you got the name and fame, and yes, we're not saying you're a bad cricketer, but come on, man. We just seem to be having a. Let's get it together. Get Rizwan to give you some training. He's got a more positive intent.
Yeah.
uh,
So
We love you, but come on.
in the World Cup, I think.
Oh, we've got a new stats guy. We've got a third stats guy. Oh my God.
So his highest score did come against USA, 44.
in a game that they lost.
Oh, in that
Yeah,
tournament?
yeah.
Okay, in that tournament.
It, it,
Yeah. Look, okay, nothing against America. That was India B team, so slightly competitive. I'll give that to Azam.
okay, talking about India B team of USA, have you heard the interview of Virender Sehwag?
No, no,
After
no, no.
apparently his kids,
No, what happened?
after they saw USA beat Pakistan, told Sehwag, "Can we move to USA in case I don't make it in the India squad?"
So he can play for the USA. Oh, so
uh,
funny.
talking
Oh
about
my God. I can play for Canada.
yeah, if not USA, then Canada. Yeah.
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 Talking about India or Indian cricket, the new news or fresh of the update is Jay Shah is going to chair ICC. How great is
Where's the Champions Trophy happening?
of course,
Yeah.
of course,
Neutral grounds to Dubai.
neutral grounds to I think India, right? No, he wants to.
Ah!
Yeah,
No, we'll get moved to Sri Lanka. We'll get moved to Sri Lanka.
India, Sri Lanka are gonna
Oh my God.
co-host Champions Trophy. It's still gonna be
On behalf
called,
of Pakistan.
you know, it's Champions Trophy hosted Pakistan's Champions Trophy hosted in India, Sri
Yeah.
Oh.
This decided by an ex BCCI.
Lanka. Yeah, he was no,
I think
suggested. It was suggested by BCCI chairperson, approved by ICC chairperson.
Uh,
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts of him being ICC? Like he has grown BCCI, like grown women's cricket in BCCI, right? Like Indian cricket has grown. You've got your women Premier League, and he's increased again. Obviously, there's more funding in Indian cricket. He's increased the funding of I think ex players and even local tournaments. He's increased the funding, so there is more initiative to continue playing, right? And
yeah.
actually um, get better, right? Because not that money is a factor, but well, obviously the factor if
Well,
that's what you're doing. If that's what you're doing, then
And
that's the factor.
and
Yeah,
the key part was I think he was highly involved in helping the Afghan cricket grow a lot also.
correct.
And
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
about him, but like I think BCCI in general was at least.
I think
Um,
you can
Yeah. Yeah.
already see some of that transitioning into ICC, where ICC has now set up a dedicated about $15 million in funds
yeah,
to support Test cricket
Yeah.
in a nation's. Or it's backed by BCCI, ECB, and
Correct.
ACB,
Yeah.
so Australia English and Indian
Yeah.
Cricket Board.
The top three,
Um,
the biggest
so you
three
could
players. Yeah.
already see that there are funds being set up to push improve cricket. We all talk about red ball being falling behind
Yeah.
compared to test one days and T20s, but this is nice to see, and you can already see some of these decisions where his point of view, Jay Shah's point of view of growing or developing the cricket, starting to play.
man, I really.
And also, guess what? Guess what? Next Olympics. What
Oh
sports
yeah,
are
but
next Olympics? Where is it
that's the
happening?
USA, right?
Right?
Pushing for cricket.
No, correct. But again, I'm not saying like Shah did this, but again, like in America, we just had World Cup, which was
Yeah.
popular, right? There was a lot of people talking about it. You had Dale Steyn getting coaching lessons from a pleb, just a person, just getting. That was quite funny. But now, in as part of Olympics, they've got cricket, and I'm 100% sure ex players would have been in the background
Oh,
to
yeah.
push. Hey, let's get it. And America's a
I'm
great
gonna
country to
sorry,
push this.
Randeep. I'm gonna pause you there. It's not the ex-players. It was essentially whole and solely Virat Kohli. They took Virat Kohli's name and said he's got more followers than all of
LeBron
top
James.
US, yeah, all of
True.
your top US
And LeBron James.
athletes,
That's correct. Yeah.
and that's the reach,
Yeah.
that's the audience that you could tap into in case the sport becomes hit in
Correct.
USA, and that was partly why they were, in prep for the T20s in Olympics for
Yeah.
2028 was the reason why they started hosting some of these initial phase of T20 World Cup in USA. As you could see, the later half
Yeah.
when it got Reds moved
And
to
then
West Indies.
and in States they're talking about this sport. Like yes, like there's a little leagues, there's leagues in there that local leagues that are playing, but they're talking about this sport because I remember Joe Rogan's podcast. I forgot the guest that
Oh
came. I
yeah, yeah, they're
completely
like,
forgot. But he said the most watched game was the India-Pakistan game, and then he talked about Virat Kohli, and they talked about the stats, the viewing stats,
Yeah,
just for one game. Again,
I
like
remember,
not not the whole tournament or a thing. It was the stats, and it was the
I think it
highest
was
ever. And then I
they
think
were
they talked
it
about
was the
referring
Kohli.
Melbourne
to.
game, right?
Was it the Melbourne game? I thought it was the
I thought it was.
Mohali.
No,
It was the 2011
this was
Mohali. The
Okay, maybe,
quarterfinal.
maybe. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I remember
yeah.
it
It
wasn't.
wasn't
I
Australia.
remember seeing
Yeah, it wasn't in
hearing that
Australia.
there where the guest was saying, there were all these Range Rovers and stuff that have come in. There were so many
Correct.
dollars.
That's right. Dubai. This was Dubai, neutral ground.
I thought it was the Mohali, but irrespective,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
viewership,
Yeah.
the in-person viewership plus the
Yeah.
digital or the game
Digital. Yeah.
viewership from homes, telecast rights and stuff. So yeah, um, it's being discussed, and I think the previous
Yeah.
T20 World Cup did help the cause,
Yeah.
and all this is going to help cricket
But
as such
for
grow.
me, I still want the existing teams to have a better like support system where like Cricket South Africa needs to come out with like more funding or like figure out how they can improve because I feel like even their test standard has dropped a lot. But like
Yeah,
with them, I think the agendas are going to be crazy different because they've got the whole quota-based
Yeah.
team selections and whatnot.
correct. Yeah, I think
But
if you look at the three nations that are striving, it's English, India, and Australia, because
yeah,
essentially run as
Yeah.
a business, right? There's no reservations or quotas.
Yeah.
yeah,
Limited
West
budget.
Indies, the
Correct.
board have got internal conflicts themselves, so there's heavily shortage of funds. Pakistan is a different
Yeah.
ball game altogether. Sri Lanka has got their own little concerns going on.
yeah,
Bangladesh is turned into a
Yeah.
dark horse, so it's just come out of blue. But again, internally, they've
Yeah.
got other political tensions. So there's all the nations that are struggling at this point. It's not primarily cricket, but there are circumstances surrounding cricket that is
Yeah.
impacting the growth and development. Um,
yeah.
And the top three, India, England, and Australia, right? Cricket, like there are political issues and all these other issues happening in the country. It's not like, no country is immune to that. But cricket's the one where there's support, there's money coming in, and they've got great players
And
and
people
everything
watching.
from, right? As, and
Yeah,
people watching,
yeah.
right? They're getting, yeah. Likes of as South Africa and all these other teams, they're having challenges, their own like political challenges and everything, but that impacts the funding and whatever people watching,
But
right? So, and I think that's why the fund they've set up for the Test cricket. I think it was 10 or 15 million. Sorry, I forgot the number.
I think the,
Is is a good start. I think it's a good
yeah,
start,
yeah.
right? To get people. It's still a long way to like. Obviously, T20 is quick. 3 hours, the whole game's done. 3 and a bit hours, the whole game's done. That's a quick thing in this TikTok generation. Watching Test series is a different thing, but I think it'll be
unless
good.
unless you are a fan or diehard fan or follower of cricket, test is not one of those things that you could basically sit in. Uh,
Oh no,
But I feel
yeah.
like
I never
but I
said
feel
that
like
I
once you
was,
once
yeah,
you get into it,
but I might have said a
once you
couple
get
years
yeah,
ago.
into it,
yeah.
it's
Oh
so
yeah,
much
yeah,
fun to
yeah,
watch. But speaking of
yeah.
English cricket and Sri Lankan cricket, I heard they had a game, and I heard they got one of the
Yes,
teams got smashed.
yes. And who predicted this in a couple of
Yeah,
episodes? England will
Yeah,
walk. Yeah, that's
I
right.
was the optimist Lankan
we
fan
were
right here.
we're expecting a
Uh,
miracle from Sri Lanka, but I think yeah, it ran its natural course. Gus Atkinson, what a game he's had! He's had a century. He's had a fifer. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Again, you lose a legend from the game, there should be an impact on the game. But England are not feeling anything. Rather, I would say they've got an upgraded version of Anderson, who could also go out and score runs.
and score runs quickly and reliably.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
scored
he
big
looked
as
so
well.
good with that bat. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like I've got
It's a
nothing else to
fight
say
for
about that
the
game, though, to be honest. Like, literally
Yeah,
every single game was just identical.
yeah.
They came, they,
one positive thing from Sri Lanka is they improved their first innings total from 196 all out
Yeah, I think
to
the
but then
292.
they ended
other
up,
But
they
yeah,
also chose to give more runs out this time.
the other good thing in that second innings, if you want to look at highlights from Sri Lanka, is other players have pitched in. So there's
Yeah,
runs coming in from other players as well, not just the Mr. Rescue Man.
yeah. Kamindu.
Yeah, poor guy.
Kamindu in
Coming,
the
Coming
sun.
didn't have a great second innings, but the rest of the squad did manage to score a few runs. So that's one positive that I could see.
Yeah, yeah. My boy Dimus Karunaratne finally decided to show up. Just not for long enough.
I'm assuming Jayasuriya in the dressing room said, "Hey guys, this is the last innings. Any last bits of performance that you have left in you, please bring it on the
Yeah,
field, or else
yeah.
we'll be stoned once we get back home."
yeah. But I feel like my takeaway from this series is still the same as it was in the last game. Joe Root, very young and can't stop scoring centuries. And now he's going to go to Pakistan where he's going to find even flatter pitches
Yeah,
and out of form bowlers. And he's going to have 3 games, potentially 4 centuries. And he's going to get
Didn't
all the records.
didn't someone say when it was still the first innings that Joe will score another 100?
Yeah.
Look, we'll have to see. And I'm like, nah, he'll score another 100.
um,
And he
I'm
made it look so easy too. Oh,
I'm gonna call a big double hundred from Joe in that Pakistan series.
oh, guaranteed. I mean, the
Big
pitches
double.
are so flat, especially if they get to bat first innings. Oh, he's not going to get out.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to get
And,
out. He's
and
just
I
going to be
think
like,
that's
oh,
pretty much what England's game's gonna be played. You only bat once on these games.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You don't know, win toss, bat first,
That
bat
forever.
home. That's it, right? 2 days, two
Yeah,
and a half days. All right, now I'd say probably 2 days. Mix of Joe Root and rest of the team going baseball. 2 days. That's it, and then pull them out.
and it's a very confident England team that's going to go up there now, and they're going to
Face.
face a very undercooked Pakistan team.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck, Pakistan.
I'm just thinking how Jason Gillespie is reacting at this point. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know how. I know how he wants to react. He wants to email his resignation in. That's how he wants to react.
But kudos to him for calling a gutsy move on Shahin Shah to be left out
Yeah.
from second test. So at least the coach has some voice in the dressing room, which is
And to
good.
be honest, the new bowlers were a lot better. Like when you watch them bowl, you can see the
Hmm.
difference.
I think,
Like the ball was moving at pace. It was so good.
and that's the only way you can surprise England now, right? You bring in all new players whom they've not seen before.
Just bring
That's
a
it.
whole new team. England's like, we don't know.
They
They
don't
don't
know.
know it.
They don't know the
Like
team. They can't plan for the team, and then that's the surprise.
That's it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh well,
Let's
Oh
have a look.
man.
It's going to be interesting. But
yeah,
I really want England to qualify for WTC. They kind of deserve it, no? With the amount of like Test cricket they play, um, and they're bound. Like I feel like
Different thing, right? There's a difference between playing a lot of tests. Yeah, that's whatever scheduled. But then, like at the moment, they've had easy-ish games, right? Sri Lanka,
West
commanding
Indies,
wins. West Indies, commanding
Pakistan.
wins. So I'll be more curious. Uh,
Hey,
yeah,
say it,
sorry,
say it,
Pakistan.
Randeep.
Com Pakistan route with a double hundred, commanding win. I'd be curious when they get to more challenging teams, right? Which I'm not again. I don't know the schedule in front of me. I'd be more curious then. Then I'd be like, okay, do they
their
deserve it?
only losses have come against India in India and against Australia in Australia.
Well,
out of the 15 games they've
India,
played.
India.
see,
Okay.
I think that
Um,
shows that when there is a quality opponent, they
yeah,
struggle.
but let's be honest. In
Outside of home.
India
Outside of
and
home. And I wonder where the
Ah.
final is.
no, but in India and England, then India's also going to struggle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no,
Because
that. Yeah, yeah,
they
correct. Yeah,
recently won a series in England, right?
yeah.
In England, they did,
Did we?
right?
yeah.
It was one of those cold
Hold on. That's I need to look at
where
this.
they played four games and then paused and then revisited the. So had they stopped it after that four games and called that fifth one a draw, India would have won the series. But we resumed the tour a little later, like 6 months, eight
Yeah,
months down the lane. We lost the
yeah.
game. Essentially, meant we dropped the series. That was the last I
Oh,
remember.
so they drew the series basically.
Yeah,
Okay, that's not bad. I'll take a draw in England.
yeah.
I'll take a draw series in England.
Cool. I
Yeah,
think we did talk quite a few topics and diverted
yeah.
away from our core agenda of talking just about Pakistan.
I mean,
But
we did a decent amount of that.
all in all, I would say, I think if I were Team Pakistan, I would say this is the rock bottom. It's only up from here. It's only improvement from
I don't
here.
know, man. We said that last game, and then they somehow managed to lose
But a
to Bangladesh
new
Wait,
again.
low.
wait.
So
Did
we
did we just say it's all up from here for Pakistan? No. This is just
to be honest, I don't think it looks very good because England's going to go back. I mean, go Pakistan and play Test cricket with them. Oh,
Well,
I don't see it
uh,
happening.
you know where you can watch and catch up the review of the England Pakistan series? Right here in this show.
Yes, please.
So I think on that
yes.
note, we would wrap up this episode. Like us, share us, talk about us, comment, subscribe, watch previous episodes. Tell us what you think about Pakistan and how they need to improve the game.
Oh
Comment,
yeah, yeah, for
comment and let
sure.
us know, and we'll pass it
Oh
on to
yeah.
PCB.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a quick
Yeah.
at PCB.
Yeah.
Cool. On that note, let's call it.
All right.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Until next time. See you guys.
Adios, amigos.